Hello, how are you? Did you guess I was going to wear this mask? I actually don't even know what this mask is. You're going to have to tell me what this is because I don't even know what it is. So it's blue and looks like a cat, but other than that, I'm not really sure. But I'll take it off now. I hope you're well. Have you got your Bibles? We're still in 1 Samuel. We haven't finished 1 Samuel. It's been interesting, hasn't it? We're going to continue with 1 Samuel. We'll see on the screen, we have that Samuel there. And let me go back a slide. Now, Samuel, remember he did some good things. The people repented. They knocked down all the idols. They started worshipping God. And you can see all these places, Ramah, Mizpah, Bethel, and Gilgal. Everything was good. All the Philistine army were back in their territory and they were defeated. And everything was going really well because Samuel was a great prophet. And there was peace in the land. Everything was going really well, thank goodness. But as I said, we get back to here. And we have Samuel, he's in Ramah. Remember that. It's going really well. He had 2 sons, Joel and Abijah. And they lived in Beersheba. Now, do you think his sons were good or bad guys? What do you think? Look at their faces. They weren't nice at all. Why do you think that is? I'll tell you what they used to do. Because Samuel was their father, people thought, oh, these guys must be good as well. But they weren't. They used to steal people's money. They used to give false testimonies, which means they used to lie and cheat. And the people around in Beersheba wanted them, because they were the sons of Samuel, to be leaders, but they were really, really bad leaders. So what do you think the people did? Did they just keep complaining? What would you do? They went from Beersheba up to Ramah. What for? To talk to Samuel. Samuel, your sons are horrible. We are not going to listen to them anymore. And Samuel's like, okay, what do you want me to do about it? And the people were like, Samuel, you are too old. We understand that. You can't help us anymore. You're getting old. So what do you think the people wanted? The 2 sons were evil. Samuel's getting really old. What could they possibly want? Have a guess. They said, we want a king just like the other nations. All the nations around them had kings. You know what a king is? A king is a ruler of the people. We don't have a king in Australia, but they had kings back then in other nations. Israel didn't have a king at the time. Well, they actually did, but I'll tell you about that in a second. So they said, we want a king. And Samuel said, I don't think you really want a king, do you? They said, no, we want a king. He said, do you understand what it means to have a king? I don't think they really understood. And they said, explain to us. Samuel said, okay. When you receive a king, the king is going to want a big palace. Who do you think is going to build that? You guys. The king's going to want servants. He's going to call you to serve him. He's going to put you into the fields. He's going to make everyone work really, really hard. And all the money you make, a lot of the money, about 1/10 of the money, is going to go to the king. He's going to have a lot of horses. He's going to demand so many things of the people. And the people are not going to be happy. Samuel's saying to them, you're not going to be happy if you put a king. A king is not the greatest idea. Believe me. But the people just kept saying, we want a king. Ask God for a king. We want a king, Samuel. That's it. We've made our decision. We want a king. So he started to pray. God, the people, I've warned them, but the people still want a king. Now, as I said to you before, they have a king already. They don't realize that their king is God. God is their king. Who's our king? Jesus. King Jesus. He's our king. But they didn't want God as their king. They wanted a human king. The problem with a human king is we're all sinners, aren't we? Humans are sinners. A king is going to make mistakes. But they still wanted, and Samuel prayed, and God said, It is not me who they've rejected. Sorry, it's not you, Samuel, who they've rejected. It's me. That's what God's saying. If they want a king, if they want to learn the hard way, then I will give them a king. The people, yes, look how excited they are. They're going to get a king. Don't think they know what they want. Have you ever been excited about something and your parents are like, you probably shouldn't be excited about that. You don't really know what you're asking for. The people didn't really know what they were asking for. They were asking for a king, but they didn't know what they were going to get. God knew. Samuel knew. So meanwhile, this man, his name is Kish. He's from the tribe of Benjamin. Now Kish had a son by the name of, do you know what his name is? What is Kish's son from the tribe of Benjamin? His name is Saul. And Kish said to his son, our donkeys have gone missing. Go and look for our donkeys. And Saul, being a good son, was a very tall guy, very handsome, very tall. And he said, Father, I'll go look for your donkeys. And he looked and he looked and he looked everywhere and he could not find these donkeys. Where'd they go? And he came to a town and a man from the town came out and he asked the man, have you seen my donkeys? And the man said, no, but there's this wise man in the town named Samuel. Go and see this wise man. Maybe he's going to tell you where your donkeys have gone to. So, Saul goes into the town and he sees Samuel. He's going to ask him, where's the donkeys? Have you seen my donkeys? Do you know where I can find them? But as soon as Samuel saw him, he knew. Because remember, he prayed for a king. And as soon as he saw Saul, he was like, that's him. That's going to be the first king of Israel. And he said to Saul, look, I don't know anything about your donkeys. I don't really care about your donkeys. Look, your donkeys will be fine. Come in with me to my house and have some dinner. And he took him in and he prayed. It's like, Father, thank you. I have found who you said is going to be king. Then he brought him inside. He said, come follow me, Saul. I've got some good news to tell you. And this is where the story stops for today. We're going to see next time what happens to Saul. The people asked for a king. Samuel prayed. God said, I will give you a king. Showed Samuel exactly who the king's going to be. It's going to be a man, a tall man, a handsome man named Saul. Saul is looking for his donkeys. He comes to Samuel. Samuel sees him and says, you forget about your donkeys. Something special is going to happen to you, and invited him in to eat. And obviously we know he's going to be the first king of Israel. It's not what God wanted, but God said to the people, if you want a king, we'll give you a king. So in the next few weeks, we're going to see all the things that's going to happen with the first king. Are they going to be good? Are they going to be bad? You're probably thinking, wasn't the first king King David? Did you think that? You're wrong. The first king is King Saul. And we're going to see that next week. I'm also going to wear a new mask next week. Let me know what mask I wore because I still don't know what it is. But I'm going to see you next week. Now make sure you get your answers ready for Graham. Because last week, not many people answered. Listen to the video. If you didn't get everything, listen again. Anyway, you have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.